What do you mean the video resolution is 1280 by 720, which is not supported? What? Stream status poor. Okay, it's not set to that resolution though. I am of confusion. Okay. It looks fine to me, YouTube. I don't know what you're smoking. Huh. Okay. That's weird. YouTube is doing the funny. Please be the right link. Oh god. The thumbnail. I couldn't get a good screenshot anyways. Whatever. Maybe because the thumbnail was like goofy. You need to change the video resolution. There's no problem with the video resolution on my end. I don't know why YouTube thinks it's having a stroke. Whatever. Huh. Okay. Well, the thumbnail is like garbage. It looks so bad. Is YouTube chat working at least, I hope? My audio should be working. You guys should be able to hear me. I think. That's good. You can hear me though, right? I tried like taking a good screenshot and that looked terrible. Huh. Hello, Crystal. What's up? I haven't streamed in forever, so like I do want to get to the trailer, but I got to take a minute here just to kind of make sure everything's good. I literally had to go in and I like opened up the War Thunder official thumbnail in like a separate tab just to save it, and when I posted it to Discord, the resolution's really fucked up, which is funny, but you know what's funny as well? I was just about to do a podcast episode because of the economic thing bullshit that happened, which I'll go into after the trailer. So I'll kind of like pseudo shoe that in, I guess. So, you know, got some people coming in. All right, you guys want me to go ahead and watch it now or wait a few more minutes? Just chat. It's up to you guys. Is the audio going to come through in the... Yes, it will. Okay. Now? Alright. Let me switch her over here. Alright, so now you should be able to actually see a black screen, which is weird. There we go. Okay. Special offer. Steam, go away, Steam. Continue setup. Oh my god. I had right before. I'll start in a minute here. So before, I had it all set up for Twitch, for streaming on Twitch, and I had to just change it back over to YouTube. So there's like other shit on my OBS that's confusing. I'm kind of glad they released this teaser now, though, versus like 9 o'clock this morning when everybody in America's at work, which is literally most of, you know, my follower base. So, like, I would just be streaming it and no one would be here and I'd be all sad. I got 19 people. I've had other streams where, like, I had a really good thumbnail and shit going, and, like, other people tune it. Actually, you know what I'll do? Because I'm sure other people have seen it, and they just want to have, you know, my reaction to it. I'm actually going to go ahead and paste the link to the stream in some other Discords real quick. Friends stream. I don't have access to Oddbaw's streaming channel, which is unfortunate. So, I'll just go post these in a couple of Discords, and we'll start here in a minute. Actually, just for shits and gigs, where's that little chat window just so I can see it while I'm on my Discord's screen? Because I just uploaded a video too. I just recorded another video, which I probably have out tomorrow. And then, or maybe not tomorrow actually. Maybe I'll wait a couple days. I go like through this thing where I can make a couple of videos and then like I go back to having like 2 weeks of me just being MIA. Because I'd rather play my games than make videos on them all the time. Alright. War Thunder Discord is spoiling things for me the moment I clicked in there. But I'll pretend I didn't see anything. Okay, alright, enough of looking in that fucking Discord. Actually, I'm gonna just deafen myself in my you know what? No, I'm just gonna disconnect. There we go. I'm just gonna disconnect from my Discord channel so no one joins it and ruins it. Some other people trickling in. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start it now. And then, like I said, we'll watch it. I'll talk about it, and then I'll talk about the economy fiasco that we had today as well. The May 18th, 2023 incident. So we'll go ahead and watch it now. Let me mute myself here. Oh shit! I just saw it said no motherfucker. Ah shit. Okay. My bad. I don't know why. Is it? It should come clean through on that. I'm very confused. Oh, I'm very sad. I just saw it pop up earlier, though. Is this not... Now it... Huh? Okay. Well... Is it because I wasn't, like, clicked into the... Did it, like... Did it, like, cut out halfway through or something? It probably did that. Oh, that's really sad. I fucked around with OBS when I was trying to get my VR shit to work the other day. So that's very sad that I just broke that. It's never, you know, my stream without me doing something like that. Audio streaming, audio track. 1, 2. No, I can't change it. Huh, I don't know why that cut out. Well, that's really sad. My B. I'll watch it again. I mean, the audio is the audio. It's not really like that big of a deal, but... Oh, it did. Well, that's weird. The audio, I fucked it up the first time around, but like honestly in the beginning it's kind of mid. Like, it only like gets good when the music picks up. Looks kind of weird. I think PJ's still doing these trailers though, right? So that's like his work, his cinematography, I think. Yeah, sorry about the audio the first time around. I don't know what happened. Like, I just clicked off. Like, I just clicked mute again. And it's still playing it. Also, I did turn down the decibels on that, so I don't know if it's, like, super quiet. I messed with it earlier, but... That's kind of weird. What is that vehicle? I can't even tell what this is. Is this the Dardo thingy with the... Oh, that probably was. Huh, that's weird. Alright, let me start back from the beginning. I'm assuming that's the BTR-80. Because they do show it later. I don't know why they do, like, a double tease. It's kind of weird. At first, actually, I thought this was the Nana, or Nona, whatever it is that Russia has. That, like, it's on a BTR. But it has, like, a mortar. I thought that that's what this was, but it's hard to tell. I think it's just the BTR-80 that they show later. And then, obviously, the Bat Chat, which I think is pretty cool. But, like, France already had the Lorraine 155, which is just on the Lorraine chassis, if I remember correctly. No, it's on an AMX-30 chassis, I thought. The Bat Chat, whatever the hell, 120, whatever it's called, is just a different turret, basically. It's a more advanced system. And this is the J8B, which is just another J8, really. Is it just got a better radar? Yeah, it's just the B2. Is that the same as in the beginning? That doesn't actually look the same to me, but that could just be... That could just be me. I'll get to the Frogfoot in a minute. Was this the is this a French boat? Yeah, that's the Aigle or whatever it is. The Frogfoot. That's the J8. So, I'm kind of confused here. This is the same Mirage we have in the game right now, right? This is the C5, but they've just given it ground ordnance now, right? Because it only had the air-to-air... like, it didn't have the guided bombs before, right? Because if this is the case... Also, I forgot to turn on the YouTube chat. My bad. Whoops. If this is the case, upgraded to 4th gen standards, better missiles able to fire multiple targets at once, better pulse, Doppler, radar, better everything, guided air to ground. Oh, so the J8B should have like anti-radar missiles and stuff too, right? Or am I thinking of the J8? Or no, I'm thinking of the J7-2, the FEBAT or whatever, the weird, big, bulky thing from War Game. I'm thinking of something different. The like high wing plane, which I kind of want that in game for China. That would look pretty cool. Also, so like with this Mirage, I was actually grinding for the 2000D because the 2000D gets the AS30Ls, but it doesn't have guns. I think this only carries like the bombs though. I'm not really sure, but I think the 2000D would be cooler for ground anyways. Like, yeah, you lose out on guns and whatnot, but I like the 2000. I've played with it with a test drive and I liked it better than the 2000C. But there has been flight model changes to that since then. Was there a ground ordnance shot like guided? No. Well, I'm gonna turn that back down. That's loud for me. Fucking hell. So this is the Eaton, I believe it was the name of it. This is just the Dardo with tow missiles, which would be pretty cool. We still don't have, there's a weird prototype LAV with tow 2s or something like that from War Game. I don't know how real that was for Australian service, but that would be kind of funny. A better Mirage 2000D, like R2 or something. But I thought the Ground Strike 2000s have to have 2 crew. That's a single seat. I thought the 2000Ds were supposed to have that on purpose. Also, thank you, Steve, for subbing. I forgot about my little spinny R3 gif from DollyX's Discord. I don't know. It's kind of weird to show the Mirage 2000. Oh, this is the Tomcat. I was wondering when they said a weapon system that currently isn't in game, I didn't think they meant high drag bombs, but these, I guess it makes sense that this would carry those. Those are the parachute ones. PL5E, aka the all aspect ones. Probably. I would find it really hard to believe. I would find it really hard to believe that they would add a new top tier jet for a nation that isn't, like China or whatever, that didn't have an all aspect missile. The only 2 countries that lack, no, 2 countries. Well, no, Japan. So I know there's AIM-9Ls in those tech trees because they're like just American planes. Like Israel has an F-16 and the Kurnos is an F-4, right? But the only countries that lack a dedicated all aspect missile, that like a domestic missile, is Japan. Sweden uses the AIM-9L, I guess, until like, what are the European missiles, like the Meteor or whatever, the Mike or whatever. No, that's France. Yeah, the only nations that don't have like a domestic all aspect missile would be Japan, Israel, because they don't have their own dedicated Fox 2 all aspects, but they have AIM-9Ls for now, which is whatever. And then China doesn't have all aspect missiles. Am I forgetting something? No, because Sweden, what is it? Sweden went from the AIM-9L or AIM-9M or whatever all the way to the, what are the modernized missiles, like the Meteor or whatever? Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah. See, the A-10s have it, which, this is the bet. In a real match, what morons would take A-10s with high drag bombs just to carpet bomb nothing? Like, this is just pure spectacle, like, hype. Like, you will if someone takes high drag bombs in an A10 in a real game, God bless you, because I see no reason for it. Like, why would you take these when, like, if you don't have enough spawn points, it's one thing, but I would just take the 2,000-pound bombs with, like, a 2-second timer and just fly over the battlefield and, like, dip the nose down, drop the bomb, and dip. Like, I wouldn't even do this. I would only use high drag bombs. This will answer your question, Kickass. I would only use high drag bombs on faster airplanes. There's no other reason. Like, you wouldn't, like, doing this on an A10 is pointless. And the other thing is, too, I don't think America made a high drag bomb bigger than... Well, those ones on the Tomcat, I can't tell what poundage those are. I think they're 500, but they just have a different deployment method. But I don't think America made a bigger high drag bomb than 500 pounds. I don't think the 1000s have high drags. I could be mistaken. I could be wrong. High drag and good CCRP... be dangerous to A's. See, that was what I thought earlier today. The only thing I didn't include it in my video I just uploaded because I shortened it up, but placing a CCRP point only is effective when you are high up and you can see exactly what you want to make as the point, which makes you susceptible to AAs. And of course, we have the pants here now, so good luck doing it against Russia. But like if Gaijin made it, so if you guys have used CCRP and like AirSim or ARB, when you press the set target point to like a base position, there's like two different. There's the active target point, which is where your mouse is kind of pointing-ish, your crosshair, your nose, whatever. And then there's the other one which cycles through bombing points. If Gaijin made it that the capture points were set up to actually be CCRP points and you could have relative accuracy, then maybe they would be kind of useful. But I don't see them being super useful unless the game has CCIP, like the bombing reticle that we have for other bombs, working as well. Because the only planes, I think... Actually, no. The A6 Intruder has a bomb point, right? It has CCIP. But when you use the Mark 77 napalm on it, which kind of is like a high drag bomb because it flips around, it doesn't have it doesn't have fins. I don't think that in game those currently do that. I don't think they have a CCIP point. So Gaijin would have to make it that the Snake Eyes actually use the bombing point. Otherwise, it's just a guessing game. I don't see them being useful at all. Like in any way. The only useful thing would be for sim if you're flying low and fast and you're bombing a bomb point, or RB, but RB obviously goes completely differently. But in sim, if you're trying to bomb a point and you're going low and fast, better than like popping up and dropping with CCRP and having spread with your bombs at some point, like you can just fly straight over. But the AAs at the bases will shoot you down half the time anyways, I think, still. So like I really don't think they're going to be useful. I think they're just going to be a gimmick. It's going to be another RP, like a modification to grind through. It's really not going to do anything. They're cool, but I don't see a use. I don't see a relevant use. If there was like, if the convoys in War Thunder were easier to blow up, if like on most of the time, even in Sim, the convoys are made up of IFVs and tanks and not really like trucks or anything that can die to like a 500-pound bomb from like a somewhat, like kind of off distance. I only think they would be useful in bombing convoys of light vehicles. Or like on the skyscraper map, you could drop a couple, possibly. Like I know on Skyscraper City in Araby, there are all the little road convoys that are just the trucks, or there's AA and then there's the IFVs. Those might be in a good way, like you could actually bomb those. But most use cases, I don't see these being useful on ground. Because, like, if someone's moving full speed and you have dumb bombs, why would you want them to have a chance of getting away? Because, like, they can, even though the bombs don't float down super, super slowly, these snake eyes, the parachute ones are a little different, but these don't float super slowly. But you could still, like, see someone flying over, they'll drop these, and you just drive sideways. You drive off to the right, and they miss. I don't see these working at all. I don't. Like I said, I think they're cool. I was hoping... Now... This is going to be some cope. You're going to hear some cope. Right? But everybody knows, like, this to be true in a way. I guarantee you, these are goofy and funny and whatnot. But I guarantee you, if Gaijin had added cluster munitions instead, they would be useful. Like, this is a gimmick. These are gimmicks. Cluster munitions would be useful. Because cluster munitions would, like, severely weaken... or severely incapacitate vehicles, if not just outright kill them in a large area. So bombing, like dropping 2 cluster bombs on the spawn where there's AA, even just like a crapshoot drop, like you just kind of just, it looks like it's going to hit where they're at. You just drop those and they're dead, like instantly. I think cluster munitions would be way more useful. And I thought when they teased in the F14 dev blog, I thought that they were teasing cluster bombs. I don't think these, like I said, I don't think these are useful, but I'll get off of the bombs for now, unless people want to go back to it. Where is it here? So the Frogfoot, the SU-25T, you can tell by the different hump on the, like the hump whale? I don't know what they call it. There's like a nickname for it. The big dorsal spine, I guess. Actually, hold on one more second. The Italian IV, whatever it was it the Freshia that has the toes? Wherever the hell it was in this trailer. There. Italy gets a wheeled Dardo, basically. I mean, that'll be fun. Italy, more wheelie boys. You know, well, I'm on the topic of IVs again before I get to the Frogfoot. This update is called La Royale. Or whatever. There's not a French IFV in the trailer. They just added, you know, we've seen from the dev blogs, they added the CV9030 fin, which Norway uses as well. They use the 30. So they added another IFV to Sweden, which, like, okay, it's another CV90, whatever. But the update that is supposed to be about the French Navy and some upgrades to the French, like the Mirage and stuff, and they didn't include a French IFV in the trailer. I'm not saying there can't be one in the update, but it's not looking good, boys. Like, why will they not add the AMX-10? There's an AMX-10 with an autocannon. There's an AMX-10 with an autocannon and a Milan. There's an AMX-10 with, like, a pure, like, Mephisto, like the 4 launchers. Maybe not the pop-up, but, like, still. There's 3 or 4 different variants of the AMX-10, or even, like, the VKB chassis, because we have the Mephisto now. Why does... You think of all the updates. They just added a fucking artillery piece on an AMX-30 hull. They didn't add an IV. I think it's kind of funny. I feel bad for the French boys. But I think it's kind of funny. Gotta love that Italy might get spikes before Israel. That would be funny. Be funny. Alright, I'll get onto the Frogfoot here. I need a sip of coffee or water, though, real quick. Hold on. Is water still in this? Oh, that's old stale water. Fuck. What was I saying? Yeah, alright. So, the Frogfoot. Oh, my mic just peaked. Fucking hell. I just shocked myself. So, the Frogfoot. So, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, am I still streaming here? Okay, I made it look like I just fucking died. In a galaxy far, far away, I said, before we got the Frogfoot in the A10, that the most broken thing would be the A10C with the ability to rifle fire Mavericks and a T-pod and ground, right? But even more broken is the Frogfoot with Vikhir missiles. Vikhir, whatever they are. This is the T. It carries Vikhirs. There's no thermal sight. So it's like the K50. You don't have thermals, so target acquisition might be a little difficult. A little, air quotes, a little difficult. Right? And I thought here maybe they were teasing workable, like, views, but that still has that half cut off. This is a piece of shit view. Gaijin needs to actually make these work, because these working in sim would be nice. So you can still focus on flying someone and not get disoriented. But yeah, so if you have the ability to spawn in a Frogfoot, now of course attackers don't have air spawns anymore. If the map has, like, you know, there are some ARB maps where everybody spawns in the air, right? But, like, for the most part, these don't spawn in the air. There's no... Frogfoot shouldn't be spawning in the air on most maps. Still, that got removed, right? But the fact that you have a plane that you can press the target point key and automatically track, because you know it's going to have the K50 system. It's not going to be like the Maverick camera like this. It's going to be like... You know, the K50's system. Although I think in the K50 it still displays it like... No, never mind, it doesn't. But the fact that you are going to be able to look at an airplane and you're going to be able to press one button, fire a missile that cannot be flared, cannot be chaffed. The only way it can be defeated is if you go behind like a mountain or you fly above the rate that the Frogfoot, you know, can keep the nose on you, right? Because it's the nose camera. The only way to defeat the Vikhir missile, even, you know, currently with its agility somewhat, from the airburst, of course, is by just essentially not being able to, or breaking the view of the camera to you, right? Is going to be super fucking broken, right? Just that ability to just do that, to do that to the A10. A10 players, non-existent, gone, right? And I'm talking here, I'm not even talking ground, all right? I'm not even talking having a K50 and a K52 and an Mi-28 in your lineup, possibly, whether you have one, two, or all three. You know, I'm talking about just purely ARB, just the bracket that it's in. The fact that you will be able to, wow, I'm peeking my mic, sorry. The fact that you will be able to just straight up spawn in, take off a little bit, 10 kilometers away, oh, there's an A10 climbing, get fucked. Just get fucked. And then even then, think about it this way. If you go on to one of those matches that, you know, it lasts a long time and you're playing in the Frogfoot and whatever, because I'm assuming that this Frogfoot's going to be a higher battle rating, though, but I'm not putting it out of the battle rating bracket of the A10A, which is 10.3. I think both A10s are 10.3 now, though. I might be wrong. Or no, the premiums is 10.0, the other one's 10.3. Basically, if it's 11.0, if it's 11.3, you're only going to see the A10 late, which is going to be the non-premium, right? So you might see less of them. But if the SU25T is 10.7 or 11.0, you will be able to... My audio just cut out? Fuck. I got to turn my headset back on. It dies automatically. You will be able to kill A10s totally free farm. It's just straight up a free farm. You just fire this little missile. They're dead. Gone. And then, like I was going to say a minute ago, if it's one of those matches where the game is dragged on for a while and to win the game, you need to kill ground targets, you have 12 instant kills of ground vehicles. You don't need to strafe them with the gun. The Mavericks, like the A10, the Mavericks, like, they're a little clunky. Sometimes they miss. Sometimes they just randomly explode. You have 12 basically manual, because again, the Maverick is fire and forget. These are going to be manually guided as long, you know, you keep training on the target. You have 12 manually guided, pretty much guaranteed ground kills. Then you have the cannon, so you can, one Frogfoot can just mop up a game at the end stage of a match. Does the A10C carry any Hellfires? No. What the A10C has is it has APKWS rockets, which are the ones that they got added to the Apaches, the laser-guided ones. So being able to carry 6 Mavericks, and I think it's 6 pods total under the, in between the gears, so like the 2 and 3 hard points, I think they are. And then you can carry like an extra pod out in the wings. To be able to carry that many laser-guided rockets on the A10C would have been straight up broken for air RB as well for ground pounding. Of course, you know, there's no air spawns anymore for attackers for the most part, but the A10C and ground RB would be way better because it would be able to use the targeting pod, the lightning pod or whatever it is on the side, to rifle fire the Mavericks and then just turn away and go back to the battle. 16 Vikhir, sorry, not 12, 16. Because I think it is 16, or 8 per side, right? Yeah, so 16. So the A10C with the targeting pod would be able to rifle fire Mavericks off at targets, turn away, rearm if you needed to. Or you could take the laser guided rockets, which from the air and moving, they get more range. In War Thunder currently, I wish I had it open, but it's still in VR mode. The laser guided rockets on the Apache and stuff, they don't have an aim indicator because the game considers them an ETGM. But so they're kind of hard to aim, but they also, because you're not moving at like 300 miles an hour, they don't have a lot of speed that they're launching from, so the range is minimum, like just totally like the minimum amount of range. The A10 would be able to launch them from farther out, or at least get kills more consistently, because you'd be launching them you can launch them directly from above, and it would be easier and all that stuff, right? And so, and as well with the SU-25T. And this is what I said a long time ago. I know I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but I did say a long time ago that the most broken attack planes in the game would be the A-10C2 for ground and the SU-25 for air. And that was before we got, like, the extra Mi-28 with Vikhir missiles and the Pantsir and all that shit. So now even at ground, I would say that the SU-25T is going to be super broken. Like, yeah, you're not a MiG-27 and you're not afterburning up to space with TV-guided bombs. Right. But even in a night battle, you can use the Vikhirs. You just, obviously, again, I don't even know if it has, like, NVGs, like if that TV site actually has night vision at all. So the MiG-27K would still have you beat because you can drop laser-guided bombs with thermal. But the SU-25T would be pretty good still. But it's not as slow as the A-10 as well. So, you know. It is true, Gaijin could add the laser-guided Mavericks to the A-10, but I think it only can carry one per hardpoint. I don't think it can carry the laser-guided ones on racks, because I think they're a little bit bigger and they don't fit or something like that. Could be wrong. Or I'm just going off of my DCS knowledge and I can't remember. I don't know. But yeah, either way, like the Frogfoot is going to be super fucking broken. It just, I know it's an attacker, and I know everyone said that the A10 was going to be broken, which it was. The A10 was pretty broken on release, especially the premium one at 9.7, and a down tier at ground was ridiculous. Air as well, of course, but you only had 2 AIM 9Ls versus 4, because, oh, let's artificially half the premium amount of AIM 9Ls, because that makes a difference. It's still a fucking A10. It can outrate Korean jet airplanes like it's nothing. It's like, you know. And they did fix the damage models of the Frogfoot and the A10 to not be super tanky, but they still can take a hit. I see the T being super broken, even if it's at like 11.0. I see this being super broken. Unless they remove the airburst function, or the other thing which they might do, which that would be like what they did to the Tunguska, where Gaijin was like, well, the Tunguska is kind of shit, so we're going to add the Pantsir. And everyone's like, but the Tunguska is like actually really good. Like the missiles are really good. What do you mean? And then the update comes out and Gaijin's like, actually the Pantsir's good. This 2S6 sucks. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And they go and play it. And then they're like, oh wow, this missile's sluggish as fuck and can't hit anything. It can't even hit a fucking A10. Right? So Gaijin will be like, well, the Vikhir was never really overpowered. The K50 was actually shitty, and, you know, it was really not that broken. And we're all going to be like, what do you mean? And then they're going to add the Frogfoot, and everyone's going to go play the K50, and the Vikhir is going to fucking spiral like crazy, and it's going to do nothing, which I actually have a video for. Let me Let me see. This was talked about a couple days ago. Let me scroll up here. Actually, let me search from... Because he posted it 3 days ago. Wow, he's typed a lot since then. Maybe I'll just Google it. Give me 1 minute. I wanna Google this. Videos. Is this the video that I'm thinking of? Nope, that's from DCS. Is this the video I'm thinking of? Yes. Close enough. No, this is the wrong one. Oh, no, this is right here. It's so low quality, you might not be able to see it, but the Vikhir is, like, spiraling out of control, which makes it super inaccurate against, you know, ground vehicles and War Thunder. Of course, it still had the proxy, so it hit that dummy and exploded, right? But I guarantee you, Gaijin is either going to justify it, and they're going to nerf the Vikhir missile finally, and they're going to make it semi-trash, but it's still going to be good against, like, an A-10, right? Or a helicopter in ground RB. So, I'm telling you, I guarantee you, they're going to do one of those two things. So, and then what is that? The Mirage. Whoop. Come on. Snake Eyes. Yeah, pretty standard. Even Gaijin knows that naval isn't that relevant, and so they, like, give you one shot of the French Navy, even though that's, like, kind of the thing of the update, but, you know. Oh, and the last thing here was toes now have a wire, which is pretty cool. Any wire-guided missile should have the wire coming out of it. Yeah. Ariete fan confirmed? I don't know what you mean. Oh, me? Yeah, dude, I'm a fucking Italian main, bro. Should be 11.7 along with the Harrier GR7 at least. Maybe. We'll see. But I'm telling you, man, if that thing is anywhere near the A10 battle rating, it's game over for air RB. Ground RB, instant anti-heli, 0 effort. Instant anti-plane, 0 effort. As long as it's, like, not up in space, of course. But then again, you know, you're backed by the pants here. So if you don't have air superiority playing Russia, then that's a massive skill issue. Because it is super easy to do that now. So, you know. What else is here? Yeah, these parachute bonds on the Tomcat. I don't care. They're just a different form of Snake Eye. If you're playing the Tomcat and Ground RB, the F-14B, and you're not using the laser guided bombs, you're being an idiot. Plain and simple. What BR would the Italian Spike IFV be? Probably... Well, the QN506 is what, 9.7? It would probably be 9.7, 10.0, or 10.3. Them adding the QN506 is on a pretty shitty chassis. So that's kind of why it's on the lower end. So I'm assuming that there's a reason for it being like the reason. No, how do I frame this? A reason for the Italian IAV with spikes to be 9.7 or 10.0 would be because it has some sort of downside, which would be armor, which the QN506 by no means has any armor, but it's 9.7 because of its mobility. The weird IAVs, the E10 or the Freshia, whatever it is, would probably be higher because of the mobility and if it has good optics. Oh yeah, and the last thing, I did kind of cover the artillery, so I'll go into that in a second, but the last thing is the BTR-80, probably going to be like, I don't know, 8.7, like the, 8.7, like the BMP-3, BMP-2M, and all that stuff, even though those have ATGMs, the BTR-80 doesn't, it's just the autocannon. It's probably either this thing is going to be the next Type 87 RCV and be super low, or it's just going to be kind of mid and everyone's going to be like, it is what it is. And, I mean, the BTR-80 looks pretty cool though, but I don't think it's going to be that useful. It's either going to be broken or it's going to be shit. Steely, my beloved. Yeah, you're welcome. The last thing was with the artillery. So, while you can have it as a derp gun, like kind of like just a better Lorraine 155, the thing that I have about artillery is that we don't have. I don't know. This is like on a weird map. I don't know if that's definitely not Red Desert though. So that might be a new map. I'm not sure, or that might be a different part of the new map that they did already announce, right? So, Gaijin just added a fortress game mode for naval, which is some sort of like there's just bunkers and stuff, which I guess you can control or something like that, or you can just bombard them, whatever. They need new game modes for ground. There needs to be some sort of assault/rush game mode. We had break. Break was done poorly because it was just the spawns were just stupid and everything else. But, like, even in Battlefield, like, Battlefield Rush is, like, one of the most beloved game modes, especially depending on the map. But even then, Rush there was positions that people could abuse that were right outside of the moving front line that the defending team couldn't go past, you know. There were issues with it, and it was the same thing with Break. The problem I think I had with Break was, like, some maps, the spawns were just in the open. They didn't really make any sense. So Gaijin would have to design maps with the spawns for a certain game mode in mind, or they would just have to make specific variants of those maps that have extra cover, like designed onto the map or something like that. Or like there was a guy Ride R2, which if you're watching, buddy, shout out to you. A long time ago now, because it's been a couple of years, we did a test. Me, Averic, I think Ash was there, and a few other content creators. I don't remember how many people made a video on it, though. But he hosted, like, a Stalingrad-themed tank RBEC. And it was just like Air RB, but with tanks, basically. There was no aircraft allowed, though. It was purely tank combat because the map size and the fact that you were using an air map. But I think if Gaijin wants to keep adding artillery, other than just using them as shitty derp guns, because I don't even think they're that satisfying. The only one that's satisfying to me is the Russian Akatsiya, because it's still kind of TD-ish. The Beacon is just useless because the gun is like fixed to like a 15-degree cone or something. This would probably be the best because it's a full turret traverse, I think, or maybe it's limited to 180 degrees. I can't remember. But like, if they want people to actually use artillery in a dedicated role in any way, then they would need to have some sort of new game mode that incentivizes using artillery in limited numbers, of course, because it's cool. It's a French AMX-30 derp gun, but because it's on an AMX-30 chassis, it's probably going to be like 7.0 or something stupid, 7.3 or 7.7 maybe, like the Beacon is, and it's just going to be eh. Even if it has like a somewhat fast reload, like I wouldn't play this. Like you're a literal brick shithouse with presumably a reload longer than some of the tanks that you're going to be fighting. So I think it's cool. Like I was an artillery guy in World of Tanks years ago because I thought a lot of the wacky prototype or futuristic artilleries were really cool. And the Batchat 125 or whatever it was called was one that I thought was pretty cool. I never ended up getting it though. It was close, but it was one of the ones I wanted. But like the only way like indirect fire works in game Woodworm is if you have a group of people and like you're using the drones and stuff like Fly did in that video, but those were super low charge, or not low charge, low velocity. But in real life, artillery has like low charges in it, which can be used as indirect over shorter distances. I don't know if Gaijin would ever do something like that, but like I wouldn't like having a squad dedicated to artillery would require 4 artillery pieces minimum and a 5th person in the squad as a spotter and some sort of like range table. Like it's too much math. It's why I hate naval. Naval is all artillery math. It's stupid. It's Gaijin trying to simplify it, and I'm guarantee you if they did something like that in ground, it would be a whole new can of worms. The same way Armored Warfare couldn't balance artillery, it would be the same thing with War Thunder. and even then World of Tanks. Like, artillery is like naval combat. It takes a long time. It's slow and methodical. It's more tactical than it is like fast paced like we have in the game. Any sort of indirect fire artillery would take away from the actual match, and it just wouldn't work. It could probably work if there was some sort of PvE incentivization, but it's just most of the time it's a recipe for disaster. So, I think that's pretty much it for the trailer. I'm just kind of rambling on, but it's what I do. I haven't streamed in a long time, so why not enjoy it? Let's see. I guess the last thing I want to get to, which is not trailer related, and I wanted to do a specific podcast episode about this and bring some people on, but if I didn't do it today, of course, but I was probably just going to ramble on today. Also, did they add a wire to the guy using gems now? Yeah, they did. So do I have a Discord channel? Yeah. I don't think I have it linked in the stream chat. I can throw up a temporary link. This link will expire in 7 days. I will use this link and it'll expire in 1 hour. Boom. Copy. I will dump this in the YouTube chat. One moment. And there we go. If you guys want to join the Discord, there's the Discord link. It's only going to work for an hour, though, so people watching post after a while, it's not going to work. What I think of the Royal Enfield motorcycle? I have no idea what that is. Considering it's called Royal Enfield, it probably looks pretty cool. Yeah, so the last thing I wanted to get to today is the whole review bombing of War Thunder. So Tankenstein did a video on it. Can I just pause all this? Jesus Christ. So Tankenstein did a video on the economy changes, or more importantly was the foldered vehicles. I had a feedback post in our Discord, the content creator Discord, what, probably 2 weeks ago now, a week ago, whatever that was, the proposal for the foldered vehicles. I said that it's a slippery slope and no one is going to want that, even if it's at low tier, because people are like, well, Steel, it's only at low tier, right? Pin the message. Can I pin that from here? Can I pin it from there? Pin. Ah, there we go. What was I saying? Yeah, so I said it was a slippery slope and no one's going to want it, and it's just, quite frankly, it's bullshit, because even if for now it's just low tier vehicles that they're unfoldering, in the future they're going to folder higher tier ones, and they did do that. Not top tier, but there was a couple of vehicles that were kind of getting up there in the ranks where they were unfoldering them, and they were moving some shit around. Okay. And well, they also had economy changes with them. Gaijin was like, here's the economy changes. And then people were like, doesn't really make any sense. And then Gaijin had, which I don't know where it is now, they had a little kind of thing for it. I guess this is just the dev blogs. They had like a little post about it. I saw it on Steam where they were trying to explain the economy changes. I didn't see text thumbnail at all about it. So what was I saying? Yeah, so the explanation to the economy changes, like, so this is what Gaijin does. Whenever there's an economy change, everyone goes, the community collectively rolls their eyes and like, what is Gaijin up to now? And then Gaijin gets questioned about it, and people are like, this seems like it's going to make the game worse for us. And Gaijin's like, no, it won't. And then they re-explain it, and they gave, for this case especially, the biggest fucking word salad I've ever read. I read the whole post, and I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. They gave, like, an example. I'm like, this still doesn't explain. You know what layman's terms is, Gaijin? I'm getting fucking ranty now. You know what layman's terms is? You just fucking say, in-game, is this going to make you more RP? Or is it going to make you less RP? Is it going to make you more SL? Is it going to make you less SL? Not, well, if you calculate this, because if you stick a finger up your ass and you play a game and you get this amount of assist kills and points, and then you're going to get about... No one fucking cares. If you're going to play the game and you're going to get less RP or less SL, and the community collectively fucking notices that, they're going to shit on you. And they're going to give you shit, and they're going to disapprove it. And that was what happened. They were fucking around. It's like, wow, this RP modifier is 700 fucking thousand. It's like 700%, and last update it was 1,000%. Well, that right there is a very clear-cut case of you're getting less RP. And Gaijin's like, well, no, the way that we plug it into our formula, if we stick 2 fingers up our nose and pick out a big fucking, golden nugget out of our nose, you're gonna get this much RP. Okay, if it requires a specific amount, like a very specific event to happen, and to earn more than what I did last update, and that's on average not attainable, you can go fuck yourself, because then people are getting less RP. It's anti-consumer. Every economy change in the game that has made vehicles more expensive on average over time has made income less, especially like if you win and all that shit, that is objectively anti-consumer. Objective, it is, because the entire core game of War Thunder is playing vehicles, gaining rewards. The word reward is a very important fucking word here. You're getting rewards to progress farther. And the more you progress through the game, yes, all games have some sort of grind wall where it starts to take a little bit more time. But when it is consistently taking forever and ever and ever, and every single fucking change you do is making it harder and harder to get through the game, it is so unbelievably anti-consumer, specifically in War Thunder's case. That is how the game works. It's the same thing in World of Tanks, it's the same thing in World of Warships, all those kinds of games where you are playing to gain a currency that accumulates on something else to then gain that thing. Very basic terminology, right? That is the core part of the game. Every time you make that more difficult, it is anti-consumer for the people that play that, for the people that consume that product. Right? It's fucking stupid. And so because of this, and people noticed it, no matter what kind of bullshit justification Gaijin or other random CCs give you that like to fucking sniff their goddamn brown nose as much as they deny it, alright? It was the same thing with that poll that they did last year. I got duped. I will admit, I got duped by that poll. Because when you win a game, I want people to earn more from... This is the thing. They made it like, if you win more, you gain more. If you lose more, or if you lose, you just fucking gain nothing. Which is stupid. How it should work, Gaijin, is the top 3 people, because on average and ground, and I know this is someone who's a little bit like more experienced in the game, although I fucking suck at some battle ratings, but just as someone who's played for a long time, I've noticed this trend. The top 3 to 5 people are usually in ground, especially. Air is different because you die once and you're out, right? So it's like maybe 1 or 2 skilled people. But on average, in ground RB especially, or even naval, there are at least, or at most sometimes, 5 people, 3 to 5 people that actually stay in the match, they actually work to try and win, and they just happen to lose because the enemy team just never runs out of spawns, for example. There's plenty of reasons, but those top 3 or top 5 people should be rewarded for actively playing the fucking game, right? But the winning team, for winning, should get more. So I think it's fair that the winners get a lot because they won. And I think it's fair that on the losing team, the top 3 to 5 people with a certain amount of activity or kills or whatever get some kind of higher modifier than the bottom other people. You know, because that, to me, that's what I think. I think it's bullshit. And that poll that they did, everyone voted for the worst option out of all of them, which was to make the rewards more similar, which is not what I wanted at all. In a weird way, Gaijin tried justifying it, and I fell for it, and I admit that. But the game, it should have been completely different. The fact that Gaijin didn't think about that is because they didn't play their own goddamn game. And it's the same thing with this economy change that they just did. Right? I know sometimes it's a fucking trope, but it is true. Gaijin doesn't play their own goddamn game. They don't play it every single day. Yeah, they work and they bust their ass to make the game and whatever. But it's like they don't play the game every single day. If you had a Gaijin employee sit down and play the game for a week after every economy change in the game's history especially the ones that truly negatively affected the game or the grind or whatever I should say, over time, if you brought them up to the present through like a week each of those changes, they would say, wow, this game got really hard to play. Yeah, no shit. And also, they added more fucking vehicles. How is it that as you add more vehicles, you've made the grind longer artificially through earnings? That's bullshit. When on average to research a 380,000 RP vehicle, it takes you almost a set amount of games. If you have the average, if every single game to research that vehicle, you're playing the same lineup, same vehicle, whatever, and on average you get the same amount of earnings every single time. You know how many games it's going to take you to get to that. It doesn't matter whether out of a couple, like 20 out of 100 games to research a vehicle, you do way better and you only get like a sliver of you only get like 2,500 more RP. That's bullshit. You should be rewarded for how well you play. And when you play extremely well, you should be extremely rewarded. I know some things don't help a game, like researching a really high ranked vehicle with a lower rank. That makes sense, right? But if you're playing your premium T72 terms and you get 20 kills, 20 matches out of 100, and you only earned like an extra 10k RP, while every other game you were earning consistently 10 or 12k, that's bullshit. Because you did twice, if not 3 or 4 times better than on the average games, and you only earned a sliver more. That's bullshit. I think that's really bullshit. And that's basically how the economy changes have been progressively getting. The better you do in the game after a certain point basically is meaningless. I've had 20 kill games. I've seen other content creators with like 30 kill games. And they're researching a vehicle the same tier, the premium that they're playing with like a higher RP modifier. And they get like 2,000, 3,000 more RP than they would the average game that they had before where they got 8 kills and like a cap. That's stupid. That's bullshit. Right? And so, with this economy change, which I'm finally getting to now, but this all plays into that, they just totally butchered the earnings, and everybody noticed it, and it was stupid. And Gaijin reverted it. And you think that they listened to the community. We listened. Yeah, bullshit. Your game got fucking review bombed on the biggest gaming streaming platform that pretty much everybody and their brother uses. My uncle knows what Steam is. My uncle bought a fucking computer for my cousin, and he was like, "You gotta download that Steam or whatever." Even he knows what fucking Steam is, and he grew up in the goddamn woods. Okay, Steam is like literally the most, if not the most used if not the most used game streaming whatever you want to call it, libraries ever. Okay, and it got fucking review bombed. It says mostly positive, but now it's saying recent reviews mixed, right? And most people are gonna they're going to see the mix, right? That's 15,000 out of 400,000 reviews. I get it. But it's to somebody at Gaijin, this was a big no-no, this number, this 15K. A big no-no. And so they finally, in air quotes, imagine my hands are up, in air quotes, listened to the community. Yeah, they listened to this bullshit is probably what they did. I will give Gaijin credit. If they genuinely do mean that they listen to the community, like it's genuine, I give them credit, and it's good. But I have seen this from too many content creators. Every single time there is a positive change, people say the game is turning around in the right direction. No, it's fucking not, and you know it's not. Swallow your goddamn pride and admit that. Because we all know it to be true. There was a lot of changes over the years where Gaijin would listen to somebody or something and people would say, oh, the game's going in a different direction. The game is objectively in a worse position than it used to be. Specifically regarding the grind. The gameplay, for new players, it's one thing. But for people who have played this game consistently and are the reason that this game still exists for all this time, right? Those people are noticing this game is super fucking stale. There's still content creators that they enjoy playing the game and they love the game, but they know every time they play a match, it's super fucking stale. Right? It's a problem. Of course, people always get burnout, but you know, I understand that aspect. But it's not rocket science to objectively look at War Thunder over the past decade and notice that there has been almost zero change. Every time Gaijin strayed away from their 3-crap arena and ground or their fucking aerial team deathmatch, every time they have slightly strayed away from that, people will be like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And then there's the 5 or 6 fucking people that don't like it, and all of a sudden it's scrapped. Like, ARBEC was super well received, and people loved it. But Gaijin was like, okay, we'll try historical belligerence, which is what they called it, which was they basically took historic vehicle lineups from, say, Russia and Germany during the Battle of Stalingrad, and they made that in ARBEC. Instead of just having it be like how Sim has always been pretty much now, even since those days, where you take a vehicle of a certain BR and you get to play in a Sim bracket with that. I don't know why Gaijin never just took historical belligerence, scrapped that, but kept the ARBEC formula and just did the same thing they did with Sim with the brackets, right? Every time they strayed away, it was the same thing with Break. Break was a pretty funny, interesting game mode until people were like, oh, okay, the spawns are fucking shit. This needs some work. Like, this sucks right now. It needs work. And Gaijin, instead of putting effort into fixing it or trying to do something different at the time, whether the game had certain limitations or not, I don't give a shit. Instead of like trying to actively improve on the game, they just threw it out. They threw the baby out with the bathwater, and they were like, fuck it. We're done with this. And it's been domination and conquest in battle for the last 10 years, whatever, how long it's been now. 8 years. 9 years we've had that, or 7 years. 7, 8 years. Right? It's dumb. It's super dumb. And this very clearly had an effect. Oh, we listen to the players. You only listen to players after they review bombed it on fucking Steam for all the recent reviews. Get fucked, Gaijin. If you actually did listen, again, give you credit. But for the most part, get fucked. I was reading some of these earlier, and they were actually hilarious. I'm fucking spitting straight facts, spitting fire over here. And everybody knows it, including Gaijin. Yeah, 8 years. Just about that we've had tanks. It's bullshit. It's super bullshit that Gaijin didn't try to keep ARBEC. And now we're at this point. This is why I said I'd save it for a podcast episode, but I'm doing it now. Now we've come to a point where they added bigger maps. They added modern equipment that, you know, has better reach. Like in World War II, you dropped a dumb bomb or you fired a rocket and that had really limited range. Now we have vehicles that can fire missiles over long ranges, drop bombs over long ranges that are guided, that can hit their targets from miles and miles away. You know what I mean? We have tanks that have rounds, they have guns, they have rounds that are powerful and can reach out over kilometers versus like recommended distance of like 800 meters or something like that, right? Like, I'm sure there were some cases that World War II where there was some like 1,000-meter or more gunnery, but it wasn't accurate. It wasn't consistent or reliable, whatever. So Gaijin goes and adds modern MBTs in the game. Of course, we've had them for a while. We've had some earlier ones, but they were still pretty tame. They could reach out the range, but the rounds were pretty lackluster, or the armor was lackluster, whatever. And now we have top-end main battle tanks that can reach out like 2-3 kilometers like it's fucking nothing. Of course, the game has some limitations at range with tanks rubber banding, which they do at like 1,500 meters, which they fixed for a while, but they broke it again. But this is more, I'm targeting this rant more at aircraft now, where they added bigger maps, They even took the EC maps. They took the fucking EC maps and they put them in a standard ARB. And people were like, "Oh, I kind of hate ARB. Like, people are all over the place. You're gonna chase them, even though you have a fucking jet that can reach the speed of sound after takeoff in under like 2 minutes, right?" We all universally, I will say, we all universally agree that flying an F-86 Sabre 3 times the distance is a bit retarded, because it is, at the end of the day, it's still a video game, and people want to play an arena shooter. I get it. But even on, like, the EC maps, like, playing a Tomcat is nothing. If you're somebody, and I know a lot of them personally, who were crying that they had to fly an extra minute and a half to fire an R-27 or an R-24 or an AIM-7F or something at somebody, oh, God, it took you an extra minute and a half out of your day versus, you know, everyone agrees, again, a Sabre flying for 10 minutes is stupid, right? But then Gaijin was like, oh, I literally had said, and I got my feedback got super upvoted, and I told Smin to pass it, like, as the first thing to pass, because it was, and people kind of agreed it was an important issue. People agreed with me that I said, just take ARB and during confrontation, put it in the fucking event tab, and do the same brackets that you have for Sim, and you're done. You're done. It's gone. It's set. The people who want to play a long, drawn-out match can go fucking play EC, and the people that want to go play the standard smaller maps or they want to have a more fast-paced fight can just queue up for standard ARB, and everybody's happy. But Gaijin was like, oh no, well, people didn't receive RBEC well, so we're not going to go ahead with it. Go fuck yourself. You made a whole PvE game mode off of helicopters, which, by the way, I was a person that gave them the idea for that with an actual mission, and they were like, we can kind of do this. We'll just repurpose, oh, guess what? EC maps for helicopter PvE. And, you know, totally neuter the fucking resources, or the rewards, because it is PvE. There's no players. I understand that. Even though helicopter grinding is pretty ridiculous. But, like, every single time Gaijin has had any inclination of improving the game, the moment someone gives them criticism, they just destroy it. And then when they do something that really harms the game, people, like, kind of give them shit, and Gaijin brushes it off. And this was one of the few times ever since the parts and FPE fiasco where people have actually genuinely had a concerted effort to tell Gaijin to go fuck themselves, and I am all for it. And I'm super happy that they did this. It's so ridiculous. I guarantee you, if the community all collectively, everybody who enjoys ARB said, hey, like, I've been trying to bring both sides of the argument together personally in my circles. If people just came together and they said, look, there's us that like EC and like to play Sim, but don't want to do like, don't want to get their flight stick set up and their throttle and all that shit, right? Like, there's the people that every once in a while they want to take a break from the super uber Sim and they just want to play ARB, but they don't want to play the arena shooter, right? Take the fucking long range maps out of standard ARB. And that's what those people will say. And then there's the people that like the arena shooter. And they come together and they say, look, we have two opposing views of what ARB should be. You clearly already have Air Sim in the event tab. So for the people that want to play a longer drawn out ARB match in the EC style, give them that in the event tab. And the EC people will be like, yeah, that'll let us play our own mode. And if we want to play fast pace, we'll go queue up an ARB. And then the people who want the fast-paced action will be like, that works for us. You can go play your mode, and we can go play our mode. And they're at the same exact time, and it's fine. If the community collectively actually told Gaijin that to their face, and they say, look, we don't agree on what this mode should be, because Gaijin is trying to make ARB into two separate fucking things. It's obvious, especially what they've done at top tier. They're trying to make it into two different things. If everybody said, Gaijin, you got to separate these, and we all agree on it, please do this. And Gaijin actually went along through with it. I guarantee you this game would get so much better received overnight, because it's probably one of the longest standing things that a lot of people have wanted. Right? For tanks, I don't know. Tanks, I think, just requires more map bans personally. And I know Gaijin would probably do that as a band-aid for ARB as well. But I don't like queuing up, spawning in, flying forever, dying, being out of that game. I want to stay in the same match and constantly respawn like an EC. That's my thing. Literally, it's just so stupid that it takes a negative thing, and I hate this about the modern world so much. It takes something negative for people to do something, to get something changed. If Gaijin tomorrow, right? If Gaijin came out tomorrow with a devlog and they said, we're removing AirRB, the game is just going to be combined arms now, this game would fucking implode. It would just fucking implode. People would go apeshit. Imagine if Gaijin came out tomorrow and they said, not enough people are playing AirRB, so we're just going to make the game combined arms because people are dabbling in both tanks and airplanes. We're going to turn, AirRB is going to be removed, Air Arcade is going to be removed, Air Sim is going to be removed, and we're going to have combined, it's not going to be called tanks anymore, or ground battles, whatever. It's going to be called combined arcade, combined RB, combined sim. Everybody would fucking lose their goddamn minds. Both tankers and aircraft or pilots alike would lose their shit, and this game would fucking die overnight. Guarantee it. And then Gaijin would be like, oh no, we listened to the community because their fucking income got threatened. Oh, we're going to revert it. Until 2 years later when they try to do the same shit again, or whatever it is. That's how this game fucking goes, folks. It's I have what, 5,000 subscribers. Most of them probably aren't even active anymore, given my viewership is usually from, random people coming across and not subscribing, or the YouTube algorithm, fucking me over royally. Right? I have what? Let me go to my channel here. I have 5,400 something subs. So I have 5.4k subs, right? So, like, I don't have a tiny audience, but I don't have a massive audience. All it would take is just a couple of pretty big YouTubers and Twitch streamers or whatever to make videos of stream, talk about it on stream, and say, we should collectively bring this to Gaijin and get this done. And everybody, I'm sure everybody would agree with me that there are those that play AirB and want the fast pace, and there are those that play AirB that want the more drawn out operation kind of style, right? But are either broke and they don't have enough money to buy a nice flight sim setup and a head tracking or VR, or they just aren't interested in the sim style. They like the mouse aim, easy to learn nature of the game, and they say, let's separate these two game modes. And then we make suggestions, or even people like take the CDK and they make their own hypothetical. Like, I've seen, there used to be missions that I don't know if they work anymore, that Rydar2 made as well, that guy that made the Tanky C, where it was essentially break, but in order to move up to the next line of defense for the other team or whatever, because it wasn't both teams going at once, actually, no, there were a few of those. But there was one that was like an attack and defense mode. Before you could move up to the next line, the attacking team had to take 3 or 4 points. If you just take that mission, you bring it to Gaijin, you go, here, new game mode, done, gone. It's in the game. I guarantee you, make ground. Maybe if not everybody likes it, it's one thing. But it would break up the monotony of ground RB just being the same fucking thing every day. Like, all it would just take is just some collective community effort to bring some serious issues, and it would solve things. I'm spitting fucking facts. And if I had a massive community, if I had, like, not fly daily level, because that's kind of like ego inflating. That or like kind of, I don't know, that seems kind of snobby to me. But like, if I had, I don't know, like even like Oddbaw's influence or Spookson's influence, and I made a video like that, or I was saying the same things I am now, I guarantee you, like, for the most part, people would start making a pretty big collective effort to it. I don't want to be like, when Spookson was always, he's getting memed down for the Aegis TVL videos. I don't want to make 20 videos of me trying to suggest a game mode, because that would drive me insane, right? But there are people with bigger influence than me that I'm guarantee you, instead of just pissing and moaning about the game, which the game deserves it, if those people like actually made a dedicated effort to getting their community to suggest it, then I think things could change. If you also address to Gaijin in some sort of feedback an option that they can see making money out of, it's a win-win. If you get your game mode and you can play your game this way, and Gaijin can somehow maybe monetize it, which they mainly just monetize off of vehicles, so I don't know how they do with game modes. But if there was some incentive to say, hey, Gaijin, if you do this, you're going to get a lot more players. Because right now, Gaijin sees, oh, there's 150,000 people online. Oh, wow, our game's doing so great. And like I said in my cash cow video years ago, how many people are just sitting in the hangar staring at the wall and not even buying premiums, right? People always said to me after I made that video, oh, the game's getting bigger. The community, like, see how many people are on every day. Like, okay, but how many of those people are just revolving door? Eventually, War Thunder is going to have the same fate that World of Tanks is having right now, where it's just fucking dying. World of Warships dying from pure greed. World of Warships, I've watched countless videos from Flamu. War Thunder, or World of Warships is just dying from pure greed. World of Tanks is just dying from pure boredom. Maybe a little bit of greed, but War Thunder will eventually go the same fucking route. Because once enough people have enough of War Thunder, whether the game keeps going on or not, after a certain point, the game can be considered dead. And I think when I made that cash cow video, War Thunder was a dead game. Right? At that point. Yeah, there's more people playing it now. And like I you know, with my teaser, like I got the hype going and all that shit, which I'm not super hyped for the update, to be honest with you. I don't really care for some of the shit in it, but you know, it's just like after a while, it's just the game's gonna piss away. Like, so what if there's 150,000 people on peak? The game servers can't even fucking handle it. Let's be real here. When people said to me, like a couple of months or maybe it was like a year after I made that cash cow video, they were like, Steel, the game has more people than ever. A couple of them were content creators. And I'm like, guess what? Have you been able to play a fucking match today? Because you can't. When the servers were definitely dying, what was it, a couple months ago? I was like, yeah, the game's got 150,000 people on. That's 75,000 people that it can't handle. Let's be fucking real here. Let's give ourselves a reality check. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. Oh, the game's not dead. It's got 150,000 people on. 25,000 are sitting in the hangar at a background process flicking their bean. Another 75,000 can't even play the game. And the rest are just sitting there getting bad network error. Like, okay. I'm gonna just read some of these reviews now that I've calmed down. I just spit fucking facts for 20 minutes. So, this one sums it up kind of well, because these are all recent. This is May 18th. They're all May 18th. Some of these are joke ones. There's this. I really was trying to avoid getting into a super ranty mode and be like maybe a little bit more productive with what I was going to say. But I kind of had that all earlier in a Discord call. So I apologize for the rant, but it needed to be said. Like, a couple of these reviews had me thinking, was it this guy? The free repair takes a couple of days or whatever. Yeah, so one thing Gaijin can do, right? Gaijin, this is a fucking big brain change. Big brain. If instead of fucking with the rewards and the repair costs of vehicles, leave them like somewhat like, okay, like my vehicle costs 10k to repair, to instant repair. What if you just made it where if you had like, I don't even think it should be a part of the crew skill. I think it's bullshit. It's part of the crew skill. What if after like I don't know. Like, depending on vehicle rank or something, it takes 20 minutes to repair a rank 1. 45 or something for, like, a rank 2 or whatever. Or, you know what I mean? Like 30 minutes to repair rank 2 vehicles. 45 for rank 3, an hour for 4, an hour and like an hour and 15 minutes for rank 5. Rank 7 or rank 8, if we ever get a rank 8, is like 2 or 3 hours, right? To like free repair. Because after a certain point, like for new players, like a short free repair time is one thing, or even just instant repair is one thing. For a lot of long-time players who own top tier in like every nation, I don't think they would have a problem with if they're trying to play Sweden. You know, they're just on a casual day and they don't want to spend the extra SL. Say they play their top tier Sweden lineup and half of their vehicles are repaired. I don't think they would care that they got to wait 2 hours to have those vehicles repaired for free when they can go play top tier in like 5 other nations. You know, and like after a while, like, oh, well, all my top tiers are in free repair. There's no crew lock bullshit, because crew lock is another thing that should be removed. And then, oh, okay, all right, all of my top tier nations or presets they're all under free repair, and it's going to take a couple hours. I'm just going to take a break from the game, whatever, for like 20 minutes, whatever, like that, come back. Or I can just load up a lower tier preset, or I can go play ARB with one plane or whatever. When people have literally thousands of vehicles, oh, we pride ourselves on having thousands of real vehicles. Yeah, so can the players that have thousands of real vehicles, like, just have a couple on free repair for, like, an hour or two while they can go play another 500 fucking vehicles? Like, why is that not already a thing? It's such an archaic system. Instead of messing with the economy every 5 minutes, why don't you just change some of the already existing mechanics that haven't been messed with at all in War Thunder's history that I can think of? Like, seriously. I have top tier in Italy, Sweden, France, America, Russia. I have, like, rank 6 of Britain and Germany. So I'm not at, like, top tier. And a little bit of Israel with the premiums. Like, for most people that just want to casually play, I don't think some people would mind if they were able to just have a free repair for like an hour on their lineup while they go play another vehicle preset. Like, I don't think that would be a problem. So, that's like the biggest brain fucking change that they could ever do. And I actually, when I gave them the, there was a feedback thing that you could leave feedback for the changes and the removed thing, wherever that was. I did literally say, I said you should be able to have a free repair for a couple of vehicles. Like, maybe it's like every vehicle in your preset that you have to repair is an extra 10 minutes. Because we've had crafting events where you have to wait 15 minutes for a pixel to be created. Right? It's not the end of the world. So I suggested that system to them. You know, there's other ways than just constantly messing with the repair costs and the rewards all the time. It's ridiculous. No matter how well I do on a match, I have done terrible in matches grinding in a premium lineup, and I've had like 8k RP out of a match that I did terribly, and then I've done like a double ace carry and a couple of caps on the same premium lineup, and I've earned 12k RP. That's nothing. That's bullshit. So, I don't know. Like this guy right here. Gaijin is a manipulative, greedy, corrupt company that cares about nothing else but profits. For years, the player base has collectively asked for change, but the developers continue to create frivolous excuses to kick the underlying issues down the road to deal with later. Only when the company gets review bombed do they revert negative changes. It's a step towards a better game, but it has a long way to go. That last part, it's not going to be a better game. It's not a step towards a better game unless they keep repeatedly adding and changing things that people have been asking for forever. ARBEC, lower repair costs, like different systems that make SL grinding more. Like I said earlier, like a winning team should get a lot of reward for winning, and the top 3 to 5 people on the losing team should get an extra bonus, not as much as the winning team, of course, but they should get an extra bonus for doing so well, for being in the top 5 or the top 3. Like, this guy right here believes that, you know, the Gaijin hates their player base and intentionally unbalances the game to make more money. I kind of agree. War Thunder is going down the drain fast with how the developers are handling things lately. Do not support them. Yes, if you don't have a life, that's pretty funny. This one's pretty good. Before I played this, I had a small penis, no girlfriend, and no will to live. None of these things have changed, but the game is pretty good. The only game with the development... That's pretty funny. All free players are advised not to play, even for an in-app purchase players. It's also the first time I've seen a game where the player makes money and is more painful than planning to go bankrupt. That's kind of weirdly... Or I just read that wrong. This guy, I have been playing this game in and out since 2013 with a Gaijin account. Got more than 2,000 hours in this game. Been here since there wasn't even a BR system, tanks, modern stuff, etc. I can say with confidence that the economy over the years has only gotten worse. It is impossible to play top-tier vehicles without losing money in the long run since, and this was confirmed not too long ago by a CM in an official post in the forums. Does that mean chat moderator? That free vehicles are meant to drain your silver lions, which are in the in-game currency. Now the economy isn't the only problem in the game, but this topic has been the one that hurt players the most, and what we complained the most. This is kind of weirdly worded. What was Gaijin's action? Decrease rewards over the years, raise repair costs, and lower SLSRP multipliers. I won't even get into all their cash grab actions in recent years, but if you want to start this game, do it knowing that this game is, if you want to play with the F-14, F-16 Abrams, Z-80, MiG-29, and all other modern vehicles, know that either you'll have no life, you'll have to no-life this game and struggle a lot, or you'll pay a lot of money and still struggle. I remember a day in War Thunder where I could pay... Like, I just got my paycheck. I'll spend $100 on War Thunder and GE, and I could take 25,000 Golden Eagles and get worth out of it, like a lot of things. Now that, like, I haven't bought GE and War Thunder for more than like the 2,500 GE or 5,000 GE in like forever, because like buying Golden Eagles is like pointless. It's better just to buy the premium and get a little bit of GE and play. Like, you can't even use GE anymore. Like, you can buy 25,000 GE and, like, ace cruise some vehicles and get some talismans, but that GE's gone quick. We don't have any, like, we used to have the half-off GE things. We used to have the 4 times or 2 times win rewards, which are on the dev server, funny enough, but not the live server, because reasons. Is there any other... This game... Did I read this one? It's kind of been sitting there on screen to be read for a while. But yeah, predatory monetization make repair costs ludicrously expensive as you get to higher tiers. This guy... I'd say it's a pretty fair review. When I'm out of silver to repair my tanks to play the game, I'm not going to buy additional funds for real money. I'm just going to quit playing the game. I read the other part of this earlier, the free repair. Like, yeah, like... I remember starting War Thunder years ago. I remember playing arcade and be like, this game is super fun. It's just like Birds of Steel and Birds of Prey. And, like, grinding, like, I could play for a day, get a couple of lower tier vehicles, and it was whatever. The only reason why I didn't have top-end vehicles like the Saber and stuff was because I just got burnt out. The learning curve between props and jets was really difficult at the time. And I will say it's still probably kind of difficult, but the game was, like, different back then in a way. I don't know how to explain it, really. But it's just, like, just playing the game just casually and just kind of grinding through, had, like, a reasonable pace. You know? I don't understand why Gaijin has added more content and made the grind worse instead of just making it the same as it was. There's more vehicles in the game than ever. The average player is going to take forever to research those and is still going to buy your premiums. They're still going to buy the pre-orders. They're still going to do this. Still going to do that. There's no reason to actively punish players for playing this game anymore. It is stupid to me. War Thunder has another fucking 10 years left in it if you just stop pissing people off. That's really easy. Like, a lot of these... Like, I have legitimately... Like, I played War Thunder a lot. But, like, I was never a person who had, like, 100 million Silver Lions saved up. Like, I'm not like Napalm Rat, who he has, like, everything in game, and he has hundreds of millions of SL. Like, I've never been that kind of person. At most, I've probably had 50 million at one time, and then I blew it all away for a couple of modern vehicles at one point, like buying full lineups and crewing that whatever, and I still don't have a lot of expert and ace crews, right? This game takes a lot of Silver Lions just for one tech tree. This game has years upon years, hours and hours and hours of grind in it. There's no reason, you know, for it to be that long. So it's just like, I've been at the point where I've been broke and I've not played the game for a while. Like, I have literally, a couple months back, I took a hiatus from the game. I made a couple of random videos, but I pretty much was broke for SL. And I didn't play the game because I was like, why? I can't even go enjoy my top tier tank lineup. You know what is the most lucrative lineup in War Thunder? When you have a lineup of all premiums. Because you break even. You don't lose a shit ton of money. Just playing like top tier America and getting your shit kicked in by Russia is the quickest SL loss ever. The best way to break even and make SL is to play top tier Russia. If you're going to play any top tier nation. It's like instantaneous. Especially now. More than anywhere else before, really. What's this guy's review? This is quite long. A developer who responded to it. Important good part. The ability to find game quick enough, but we are avoiding impossible to kill vehicles. So basically, you can No, you're fucking not. No, you're not. You know what was impossible to kill was the fucking A10 at 10-0 with 4 AIM-9Ls and infinite flares. The only way to fucking kill it was to gank up on it. If you were in a subsonic jet, you were literally fucked. Even the Frogfoot's fast enough to fuck with some subsonics. This is only misinformation. Gaijin does not like criticism posted on their forum. Gaijin, that is definitely bullshit. This was a 2019 review. This was or 2018 review. Even back in 2019, that's bullshit. The game has cheats. We know that there's been cheats since 2019, if not beforehand. That's bullshit. That's not misinformation. It's been fucking proven. Okay? We've probably had easy anti-cheats since 2019. We know there's people who cheat. Gaijin has definitely censored people before. Even if, yeah, sometimes they get too spicy and make sense, but other times it's just bullshit. These are like all older reviews, some of these. It feels fun to play games incredibly held back by its economy and developers. Economy. Every single goddamn thing about this game that is, at least in any kind of reasonable, fair criticism that isn't just like a straight up rant or whatever, you know, or like a joke one, is the economy. And this is just the Steam reviews. There's plenty of people that probably don't even fucking use War Thunder on Steam and didn't even post a review. It's the economy. Is the biggest problem with this game. It's ridiculous. Unless the fix is profitable in some way. Well, that's what I said, Color N. That's what I said. There has to be some sort of profitable incentive for them to do anything positive. The fact that they can't just do positive changes for the sake of positivity. People like vehicles. They like historical vehicles. They like modern vehicles. They will still pay. I don't know where Gaijin thinks that people just won't pay for fucking vehicles when the game is somewhat reasonable. Like, I get games to a point have to have a grind in them to, you know, but it's just like, I have spent an entire day playing ARB to get a jet. The last time I didn't GE a jet was probably the F5E. And I just played like my F5C for like 2 days straight.
One, because I kind of suck at ARB now. I've sucked at ARB for a long time now. I used to be pretty decent, but like at least my aim, like my games on average were more enjoyable to play. But like I played the F5C in air to air mode for 2 fucking days, and I had half of the F5E done, or 3/4, whatever it was. Like I was consistently getting the same amount of RP every single game, no matter how well I did, and I got super bored of it, and I just went to Sim. And then guess what? The moment I decided to use Sim as a grinding tool, whether it was ground pounding, bombing, or doing anything in Sim, they fucking butchered Sim resources or rewards. Yeah, they reverted them. I forgot to make that clear. Gaijin reverted the change. It's been like an extra hour of me ranting. Like I said, I'm sorry, and I wish I could have framed it in a more constructive way, but like I just get going. Like I said, I spat fucking straight facts for half an hour. It's just ridiculous. So they reverted them. Yeah, I finally got to the point now. Sorry, but you know, like it's just dumb. It's just dumb. The moment people started using Sim, realized Sim was a lucrative way to grind the game, and it was reasonable. If you invest 3 hours of your time, 3 hours at most, because that's how long Sim games last. You invest 3 hours of your time, you do a lot of bombing, you do a lot of bomber hunting, air-to-air kills, whatever, and you get like 100,000 RP. That was the game saying, hey, you did a pretty good job. You participated the entire 3 hours. Because that's what they did with Sim. They fucked the battle activity. Here's 100,000 RP. Your vehicle's 300,000 RP. At total, that's 9-ish or more hours for a vehicle that's like almost 400,000 RP. You know, and that's you playing like one straight vehicle with premium time, and everything. That's with premium vehicle and premium time. People, you pay regardless. Like, it doesn't matter. If you want to efficiently grind the game, even back when, you paid regardless. They've made paying for it less lucrative. Just to get that extra, just to siphon, just to suck that extra bit out of you. Like, I don't really like playing War Thunder anymore. Like, I can still, like, I have a VR video that I gotta work on. Or actually, no, I did render it. That I'll probably have out tomorrow afternoon. Of me playing, just kind of showcasing that I can play VR in tanks, and it's kind of interesting with a joystick and a throttle setup. Like, that's a little fun. But, like, I have to go play against players with their mouse and keyboard, so, like, it's kind of redundant, you know? It's like, I've played enough of this game, and I've paid enough money. I'm, like, over it now. That, like, it is what it is. Like, the free 5,000 G a month I get from being a tier 1 CC is, like, just enough to maybe get me an extra vehicle on a patch, or I can still use my test drives every month to kind of play something interesting. But for the most part, I'm done. Like, I'm over it. Right? So, you know, the only fun way to play War Thunder is with your friends, because you share the insanity, I should say. So, you know, when they butchered the rewards, it became even worse for them. Yeah. Like I said, I really wish I didn't rant for like a whole hour, but like I said, I was gonna do a podcast for it, and then the trailer came out, so it's like, why not? You know. Actually, for replay value, it might be like too long for people to even want to watch it. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm just doing, like, people always tell me, like, make content that you enjoy, and for the most part, I kind of like fucking yelling and ranting. Like, it is what it is. VR with mouse and keyboard. Well, so what I have VR with my flight stick and my throttle, and like with a tank, it's actually kind of cool. It's a little wonky, but for the most part, it's pretty cool. So, 52 minutes. Oh, you timed it, huh? I would rather stream War Thunder on Twitch and then end the stream when I'm bored or salted or whatever than making videos on it for the most part. But if I start streaming on Twitch consistently without making YouTube content, then because my partnership is because of YouTube, then they'll be like, okay, now you got to pump your Twitch numbers up, and Twitch is a pain in the ass from what I'm told. So, you know, it is what it is, but I might even rename the stream title to Steel Spits Straight Facts for an hour. So, you know. I have all these other games, my Steam list that I could play and I get bored of. But, you know, is what it is. I don't know. If you guys have any more questions, I'm going to probably wrap it up here in a minute. But if you have any more questions, some stuff, do it now. War Thunder CC should do some sort of debate or something, like a collective message of some sort, maybe a survey. Well, see, I don't know how much I can say. That has been thought of before. Well, there was a CC Council thing, which was really, that was kind of a stupid idea. But, like, any sort of collective... So here's the thing. Any sort of collective content creator effort, the only problem with it is that the content creators who have a monetary investment into War Thunder, and it's their only stream of income, whether, like, just whatever reason, will, even though they may agree with me, they will not get on board with something, or not even just me in general, I should say. If they agree with the kind of things that I'm saying and they kind of agree whatever, they won't put their monetary thing on the line for Gaijin, even though it literally won't bother them at all. Like, protesting for and begging and giving them a shitstorm for ARBEC or some extra kind of game modes if there was a collective effort is not going to come. It's not going to break their monetary value. Like, it's stupid. All I'm trying to say is that there are people that don't want to risk their YouTube revenue for improving the game because they think it's going to ruin their revenue stream, which it won't do anything. I don't understand. The same people that will tell me that are the same people that will tell me, well, the game isn't dead still because there's 150,000 people on at peak. So what are you afraid of? Literally, what are you afraid of? And I'm not, like, trying to call, like, specific people here. I'm just saying that in general, that is, like, the kind of response that I have gotten or I've seen other people give to others about this sort of thing. Is there anything CCs know that the player base doesn't? Not that I can say. The CC partners, because I'm just the basic content creator, like, tier. The people that have partnership with Gaijin, that have, like, decals and stuff, they have access to other things that I don't. So they might have more information. They might just be in the... I've heard from some people that they're just in the dark, just as everybody else, but just, like, maybe a more direct line to somebody at Gaijin, not necessarily, like, a developer themselves. Like, I have access, like, before Mike Goes Boom went to the marketing department, which he still helps out Oxy with his streams and stuff, because, you know, he was a YouTuber. He can do that sort of thing. But when he was, like, directly working on, like, feedback and kind of, like, managing the partnership program, like, you could kind of ask Mike some things. He could kind of give you an answer, but it's not, like, a direct, like, you're getting the deets kind of thing, you know?
So I don't really think that there's something that CCs know that players don't. It's just more so CCs have the influence to do things, and they don't want to use their influence to do things, which as someone with less influence drives me mad. And I know people will say, well, it's easy to say that when you don't have a partnership and blah, 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 blah. Like, I've turned down sponsorship offers for, like, free Golden Eagles for War Thunder and stupid shit like that. Like, why would I sponsor that? Like, it doesn't matter how big or small you are. Like, stupid shit like that's stupid. But, like someone like Spookston, I'm pretty sure Spookston's entire income is from YouTube and from his sponsorships and all that stuff. But, like, I don't think Spookston coming out and making a video and trying to rally people into improving something in the game is gonna directly threaten his income in any way. Because, like, a lot of the times people have stirred up shit and it's just a road bump. Like, some people have stirred up shit and their YouTube careers are over. Some people have stirred up shit and they just got tired of the game after a shitstorm. You know? Like, it is what it is. But the whole, like, I don't know, I don't want to lose my partnership status, or, oh, I don't know, I don't want to lose my income. Being reasonable and being constructive, as much as I'm ranting, I'm trying to be constructive as much as possible. Because earlier I had it better planned out in my head, but being constructive and trying to meet in the middle is not going to get you kicked out of the partnership program. Like, even everything I've said today, like, I don't, like, is there really anything that I can get kicked out of the partnership program for? I don't know. Maybe they'll say, oh, well, fucking Steel's going apeshit over here. It is what it is. Like, Gaijin is not new to everybody collectively shitting on them in any way. Like, that's not new, right? Like, if you're someone who, like, directly threatens or calls for, like, violence or something on Gaijin as a partnership, yeah, or CC, you're probably gonna get booted. Because there are contractual agreements, or, like, not like a straight up contract, but there are some acknowledgments that, like, hey, you know, don't be like this. Like, there was no official rule for leaking stuff from the content creator Discord, like certain conversations or announcements. Like, the only thing was not to tell people when a dev server shows up. Like, that was the thing people used to say, oh, the dev server's up tomorrow, and you're not supposed to say that, right? There was always kind of like an unwritten rule, like, just as a courtesy, you don't do X thing, right? But, like, I think partners sign an actual contract, but as, like, a tier 1 CC that doesn't have any sort of, like, I don't have my own decal because I'm not a partner, all this shit. Like, you don't really sign a contract per se. So you're not really beholden to, like, a legal thing. It's just, like, if I start leaking a bunch of shit off of the Discord, the content creator Discord, they're gonna kick me from the program because I'm just being an asshole and being a nuisance, right? Like, there was some stuff that, like, when the Scottish Koala had that big fucking blowout a couple months back, he left the Discord voluntarily and the program because they were probably gonna kick him out anyways for being an asshole. Like, he wasn't, like, I can't say that. Yeah, just being an asshole. Like, just being an asshole about, like, the way he presented that shit. He was just being an asshole about it. Like, I wouldn't say Koala is an asshole, or he was being an asshole to certain people. It's just the way he conducted himself in that bullshit. He was coming across as an asshole, so they were probably just like, oh, you're an asshole. We're going to kick you out of it. Take a shot every time I just said asshole in the last 30 seconds, but, you know, like, it's that kind of thing. Only people from within Gaijin associates. Like, yeah. I think Gaijin cared about the game. I think developers cared about War Thunder. And the same as everything in our society, unfortunately, the moment that shareholders dictate the direction of a game or a movie or whatever product, it goes down the shitter. And I know this from my own personal work experience, too. From my job during the winter. Like, the company used to, it had a different attitude, a different method, and the more corporatized, the more profit-driven it became, you know,
Like, I don't hate capitalism, but at the same time, there is no cap on capitalism. Right? And that's what guys, they're participating in that kind of system where after a certain point, someone puts their fingers in the pie and they get the whole pie. They get to tell you what they want in the pie, what, you know, the ingredients and this, that, and other thing. It's that kind of analogy, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's that's what I think happened to War Thunder. I think originally Gaijin was going to add bomber cockpits, right? It's kind of like this. Gaijin said we're going to work, we have placeholders for now, but people love bombers, you know, they're historic, whatever. And even though people hated bomber gameplay and bomber space, I understand. But Gaijin was like, we'll work to improve, we'll model, you know, we pride ourselves on all these vehicles, we'll model cockpits, right? And then someone was like, well, do bomber cockpits really give us money? Like, is there really, like, can we make a profit here? And everyone was like, well, no, but we're enthusiasts. You know, we want to make a game that we love. And then they were like, no, go fuck yourself. You're fired, right? It's that kind of thing. It's like Halo. Like, Bungie loved Halo, right? Halo Reach was like a masterpiece for like goodbye to the series. And then they were like, Halo 5. Or like Halo Infinite, sort of. Yeah, no, Halo Infinite's kind of a shit show. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. So, you know, they dip their fingers in the pie and then it's gone. So it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. I think around kind of the bomber cockpit kind of thing is what that was. So anyways, I think my dad's home now. It's been 3 hours. Yeah, I'm done now. Done. If you guys haven't already, check out the little shit post I did for the retarded bombs video. And then hopefully by tomorrow or 2 days I'll say Thursday. Oh, maybe not tomorrow then. Maybe tomorrow. I'll have a VR video out, just a short video. And then I don't know what to do after that for a while. But I do have some video ideas, but I'm going to wait a while. Till after I move out. Just to milk the successful Yeah, you know what's funny? You reminded me. There was a video I saw the other day. It was like a documentary style video. And it had something to do with like... Title was like... Like, why games aren't fun anymore? No. Why developers won't let go of game series? It was something like that. It was like let go of like legacies or something like that. And it was like kind of focused at like Halo and stuff. Yeah, it was kind of like focused at that. It had something to do with that. Where they were basically talking about how like Bungie, for instance, or yeah, no, that's kind of what I was saying earlier with Halo Reach. Like Halo Reach, Halo should have been done. Reach was a prequel to the rest of the games. Reach was a masterpiece, in my opinion, and it was just like Halo should have been done. Story's over. Humanity saved. The flood, you know, is like they didn't have to, like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't have to keep continuing the series. Like, yeah, they can. But it was pretty much like that. Just let Halo just be Halo. It's the same thing with COD. Like, everybody plays COD now for multiplayer, I guess, or even Battlefield. Like these series that they just won't let go of. It was something like that. Basically, just like it, and it ruins the legacy and the nostalgia of those games. Like Halo 5 Guardians totally ruined Halo's legacy. Infinite was fun, but Infinite was like a one-trick pony. Like, you play through it once, and I was like, eh. Like I've played through Reach countless times, but I'm never gonna play through Halo Infinite again. There's no reason to unless I play with friends and we mod it or something. You do something goofy. Like outside of that, like I don't. The multiplayer was nice and smooth, and I liked it. Halo needed that, but I'm over Halo now. Like it's, I don't like competitive shooters anymore. So like I'm not gonna play that. Same thing with Call of Duty. Like just let Call of Duty die. Just let Battlefield die. Make something new. And that's the thing. It's like Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1 was a great send-off by the original EA or DICE developers, and then the whole company went through like a changeover, and Battlefield 5 came out as like this politically correct bullshit feminist like shoehorned alternate history garbage, and it fucking failed. Like yeah, people are playing it now because they're just playing it as just a game, but the way that Battlefield 5 was marketed, it was a betrayal. GTA Online, yeah, GTA 5 is the perfect example. GTA Online is just ruined. Red Dead Redemption 2, super fun to play with friends, just to go hunt and just chill, but they didn't keep going through it with Red Dead and making it a true interactive Western roleplay experience, and they just ruined it. It's like, just fucking let it die. I don't understand. It must be like a snowball effect. Like, the more... Like the farther down the hill they go, the more and more bullshit they pick up, and they need to pay more people, and they need to keep doing this, keep doing that, and they can't just stop and make a new game. You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, they've ruined the legacy. Halo's legacy is ruined. Battlefield's legacy is ruined. 2042 is such a fuck up. I don't care how much they try to fix that game. It was sold and it was marketed as a hero shooter. As much as they tried hiding it initially, it was marketed as a hero battle royale shooter, and it ruined Battlefield. It ruined the Battlefield series forever. I don't think they can come back from it for another Battlefield game. The Portal was... I was so hyped for 2042. The Portal was them taking Battlefield and giving it a long-lasting sandbox use, and they just fucked it all up with the base game. They just fucked it up. Just poor development made by fucking amateurs. 2042 was made by absolute fucking amateurs. And then COD as well. Like, why you're just playing the same game? I can play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the new one, and to me it's the same fucking game I played when I was 8 years old. Like, it's fucking COD 3, faster pace, better graphics. Wow. So, I don't know. Anyways, alright, that's enough. I'm going to call it here, guys. I will talk to you later. For those of you that are still sticking around, thanks for hanging out. Yeah. For those of you that watch and post, if you made it all 2 hours, congratulations. But that's it for me now. So I will catch you all later, whenever. I think the Discord league probably broke now, maybe? I don't know. So, yeah. I will probably stream again sometime, but for now, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.